friends. As a multifaceted, fabulous, and very opinionated human, I do think that it can be hard for people to get to know and understand me. For example, I have both a corporate career and a wide-ranging creative one too. And I do like a lot of things that people probably wouldn't put together in the same human being. For example, my music streams do range from the original Broadway cast recording of Les Mis and Taylor Swift to Cardi B and the Sex Pistols. And on top of that, you'll find that I regularly read both highly intellectual books about feminism, philosophy, and history, as well as good old-fashioned fairy smut. So I can see how people looking from the outside in can get a little bit confused. So I wanted to make a quick introduction video to tell you all a little bit more about myself that would help everybody understand and hopefully appreciate this strange little bird that I am. Now, I've been thinking about this, and I do think that the best way that I can break down and explain my personality to you all is to make an analogy between my astrological big three with the Powerpuff Girls. So if you're somebody who thinks that astrology is and or has no idea who the Powerpuff Girls are, you may have to either stretch your mind a little bit for this video to really hit home and explain itself, or you may find yourself needing to ask your local millennial witch for assistance because you're too confused. But either way, we're going to dive right in, so let's go. So first up is Buttercup, and she's in green here, and she's going to be representing my rising sign. So my rising sign is Scorpio, and your rising sign represents the way that the world sees you. So it makes sense that when people look at me, they basically see a human scorpion woman, because I do have a hard candy shell and I can build up walls. And that's especially true if I'm in public, there are lots of people around, and it's especially true if I don't know anybody and I'm in a public space. So I don't necessarily have approachable energy. I very much have angry black cat energy. And when I'm walking around the world, people probably see things like off and do not talk to me and who the fuck do you think you are and why do you think you can speak to me all running across my forehead. So shout out to the rising sign and shout out to my trauma. They've definitely built my walls higher than Jericho, and so far they've not come down. So definitely my rising sign being a Scorpio makes total sense when you think about the world. So next up is my moon sign, and it's represented today by the lovely bubbles shown here in blue. So your moon sign is all about your emotional side. It's all about your inner self. And my moon sign is Pisces. So when we talk about our moon sign traits, they're not necessarily things that a lot of people get to see. It does take some opening up to get to see those types of traits, though they do bubble over from time to time. So despite my very visible hard candy shell, I do have a very soft nougaty inside, and like other people with Pisces moon placements, I can be dreamy and imaginative, emotional, and emotionally intuitive. So think unicorns and kittens and rainbows all jiving to Lana Del Rey, and that's basically me on the inside. But because of my Scorpio rising, that part of me isn't something that everybody sees or sees right away, but it is definitely there. Last up in this analogy, we have my sun sign, which is represented here by the one and only blossom in pink in the middle. Now, the sun sign represents who you are at your core. And this is tricky for some people because I'm a Gemini. So I'm definitely communicative and curious, but I do also have a bit of a mercurial core, as Geminis do. And this sometimes trips people up because most people tend to have a specific kind of energy for most, if not all of the time. So people are basically mostly sun or moon energy, or mask or femme energy, or fun or serious energy, and they're this energy all of the time. As a Gemini, I'm a little bit more versed than that, so I can definitely be any of those things at any time. So I feel like I can see the beauty and value in such a wide range of things, and I'm able to see multiple points of view simultaneously, and that makes me flexible and accepting and open-minded. So I do have an easy time switching between these different modes of being and seeing and feeling. But other people have described this as being two-faced because they literally can't imagine someone having that kind of elasticity And it freaks most people out. So they expect you to be one way all of the time. And when you're not that way, it tends to freak them out. So people do have the horrible tendency of disliking and vilifying the things that they don't understand or can't relate to personally. And luckily, my Gemini self doesn't work like that, but unfortunately, most other people do. So my sun sign basically looks at my rising sign and my moon sign and is like, oh my God, you guys are so cool. We can totally be baddies, and we can also be cottagecore princesses or whatever else we want to be at any time. And I'm so glad we're friends. This is so fun. Let's hang out. So it kind of allows me to switch between my sun energy and my moon energy very quickly and naturally and easily. So I think that my big three really sums up who I am to an absolute T. And I just thought that I would share this with you in the hopes that it would help. So in conclusion, who am I? I'm a Gemini sun, Pisces moon, and Scorpio rising. I hope that helps. Love you. Bye.